Welcome to part 3 of Competency 6. In this video, we will work with quadratic equations. Okay, we will work with 2 of the 3 forms of quadratic equations in this particular video. That will be the assumption that you know standard form and each of these relevant parts, A, B, and C. Okay, which we will, of course, use later in future videos. Then we have the vertex form, and each part of the vertex form is important. A tells us if it opens up or down. That is true in both forms. And then H and K in the vertex form give us the vertex. All right, there's a lot more to this. You might want to stop the video, take a little screenshot before we move on. Okay, here are all 3 of the forms that we will use. Only the first 2 will be used in this video. All right, let's go to number 2. What is the equation of the axis of symmetry for the graph of the following? Well, here, let me move right back up a bit. Okay, as you can see, what we do is we just need to set x minus h equal to 0 and quickly solve. Well, pulling that out, what we have is, let's turn on my pen, actually. Turn it on. It wants to come on. Okay, there it is. Okay, we have x plus 6 equals 0, which means we have x equals minus 6. Oh, okay, that was a fail. Oh, and that will give us option C. Okay, now, well, let's say you don't quite remember how to get it, but you do remember what the axis of symmetry is. Well, let's graph it and see if we can figure that out. Okay, all right, so let's go to our y equals and clear some things out from a prior video. Clear that out. Now, we have y equals 5, open parentheses, x plus 6, close parentheses, square that thing, and let's go -4. Verify that we've entered it correctly. And I say yes. So let's see what the graph looks like. Nice. Okay, so if we see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So -6. Well, let's actually create that axis of symmetry so you can see it. Okay, so we go to our y equals. Now remember, we have this set up by using our application with this little x equals up in the corner. So let's go up to the x equals, okay? Now that would have been shown to you in prior videos, okay? So let's enter, and now let's put in our -6 or our -6 in and graph. And there we go. Ooh, let's make it a brighter color. Let's let it pop. Let's go back up, turn on that graph, and let's go over. Ooh, here I have a bright idea. Instead of changing colors, which I've shown in other videos, let's go -6. Put in 2 of them. Just put one on top of the other. Oh, there you go. Red, red over red. We can change it, do whatever we want. It doesn't matter. But as we see, that line going through the middle is our axis of symmetry. Okay, all right, for fun, let's go ahead and change the color. But we have to get rid of the second one. And then go over, push enter, and blue just isn't bright enough. We have magenta, or hey, green, or even the orange. Let's try that. Let's see what happens here. Oh, I didn't actually change it, did I? Well, it shows up. No, that's not the right one. I didn't push enter, did I? Let's go back, push enter. Gotta remember to enter these things. Sometimes I don't. You gotta go all the way down to OK, then push OK. Now we're where we need to be, and push graph. Okay, and the orange line is our axis of symmetry, and it goes straight through uh, it creates a no slope or undefined at x equals -6. So yes, C is our correct option. Number 2, what is the vertex of the graph of the quadratic function y equals -2 parentheses x minus 3 close parentheses 2? Okay, first off, if you remember where our forms of our quadratics, we know this will be our h, okay? Well, what does h really equal? Well, let's think of it as bringing it out of the parentheses, putting it equal to 0, so we know that that h is going to be 3. X, 3, potato, patata, same thing. It's 3. So that means that our first value needs to be 3. Well, we go down, and the only one that matches is D. Well, wait a second. It says 3, 0. Well, as you notice, we do not have that constant K after our square parentheses. That means K isn't there. So it's got to equal 0. Logical. Ah, but don't believe it until you see it in your calculator. So let's clear this out. Okay. And then we have -2, open parentheses, x minus r3, close it back up, square it, graph it. And it is correct. We see we see +3 at 0. And we can also look at our table. We need to look at +3 and 0. Perfect. Now let's look at number 3. What is the vertex of the graph of the quadratic function? Oh, we are definitely putting that in our calculator. So let's clear this out. And that's -2x squared plus 20x minus our 49. Okay, verify that I entered it correctly. I've made a lot of mistakes with this lately. So let's graph it. And I'm going to eyeball, and I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1. Okay, could be B, but don't believe it until you go to your table. Well, here's 5, and there's 1 with 5. And as you can see from the 1, if you go up or down, they're decreasing. So that has to be our maximum vertex. Okay. All right. Now, as you see, and by the way, because -2 opens down, notice it opens down, we will have a maximum, and that will be a maximum value of y equals 1. Okay. Just to reiterate that. However, we verified B is the option, so we can move on. Okay. All right. Now, we have number 4, which of the following functions has a maximum vertex value? Okay, how do we know a maximum or a minimum? Well, a maximum has to open down like this prior one here, so it has to be a -a value. Well, A, that's positive, that's 1, it's positive, 5 is positive, it has to be D. But don't believe it until you graph it. Okay, always just double check just in case you're in a test, you're tired, you're getting towards the end, and you just want to get done and get out of there. And I know the feeling. Okay, so I've got -4, open parentheses, x plus 4, close parentheses, square that bad boy, and let's say -1, graph it, and yes, it opens down. And by the way, it is a complex situation. It has no real zeros. Okay, but we don't care about that right now. That's for another day. Right now, we care about the fact that we verified D is our option. Okay, now number 5. What is the minimum or maximum value of the quadratic function? Okay, they've given us our quadratic. It's a little bit like number 3, but not quite. Okay, how is it different? Well, it this is a +5, so instead of opening down like Oh, sorry. Instead of, yeah, I was right, opening down and having a maximum, it will open up and have a minimum. That's a positive. So that's what our quadratic will look like sketched out. This means A and B are totally incorrect. So now we've eliminated two. We have two to choose from. But I'm not going to do a bunch of calculation. I'm going to use my calculator. Like I said, that's what it's here for. Okay, so let's clear this out and say 5x squared plus 20x minus 49. Now let's verify that we entered this correctly. Yes. Now let's graph it. Oh, not too easy to get a good zoom to estimate. But I will say this. I'll say that the middle of it that we're looking for is somewhere around, let's say, -2, -3. So let's set our table. Our table, well, it's already at -3. That's already entered from prior. And it's got steps of 1. So I think we'll be okay with that. So go second graph, look at our table. Let's see, and let's arrow up. Let's see what happens. Okay. Okay, looks like our minimum is -69 because above it and below it, everything increases. See how it increases in pretty big steps going both ways. So we have just verified that at -3, our minimum is -64, and that gives us option C, verified. Okay, for number 5, I wanted to show you another way to quickly see what the minimum is. I have everything entered into the calculator as we did before when we were answering. However, I want to show you the graph. And this is what I need you to do. I need you to look at the where we cross the x-axis. Okay, we're going to estimate. Okay, and I've got a good view here where we can count. It's kind of close, zoomed in. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's go with 7. Let me show you what I mean. And I mean -7, okay? All right. So let's say second, calculate, and we want to calculate minimum. And that is number 3. And it says left bound. What do you want your left bound to be? Well, we're going to go generous with -7 and push enter. Now it says, what do you want your right bound to be? Well, we need it to be over here, kind of generous. I'm going to say 3. Okay, so let's push 3, enter. Okay, now you see it says, well, let's make a guess. So push enter. And look over here where it says y equals. It's -69. And that verifies what we just did with our other method. Okay. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, my buttons are really big on my calculator. I've recently updated. Sorry about that. And I just wanted to edit and give you guys more information. Okay, this is the last question in this particular video. Thank you so much for subscribing and liking and sharing. You guys are very phenomenal. Happy testing.